Hey everyone, welcome to Brick Vault. Today we get to show you a couple of sleek T-70 X-Wing custom LEGO builds from the designer Jarek. The T-70 is the Resistance's updated workhorse from the Rebellion's T-65. Though their improvements are often measured only by a few degrees, the T-70 is more maneuverable, has stronger weapons, stronger shields, and accelerates faster than its predecessor. Jarek built out two different color variations. There is the gray and blue version, which is kind of the standard, more common colors, and Poe Dameron's Black 1, as in Black 1, the call sign for his black and orange X-Wing. Jarek designed a little afterburner if you wanted to attach it to the back of this one, which is something that you see at the beginning of episode 8. Before I get into the closer details and show you some of the finer points on these models, first I do want to say that if you would like to build either of these X-Wings for yourself, you can get the instructions at brickvault.toys, linked in the description below. With each purchase comes a PDF building guide and uploadable digital parts list. All of our models are tested in real life. Instructions are troubleshot to make sure they're easy to follow along, and parts for the model are chosen with accessibility in mind. Buying instructions is an awesome way to help support not just us at the channel, but also the talented designers we work with, like Jarek, who has created an impressive arsenal of top-tier creations over the last several years. Remember, everything is linked in the description below, and let's take a closer look now at these minifig scale creations. All the models you see flashing by the screen scale just right with the T-70s. We have so many in the studio now that all I can hope to do is give you a general impression of how these look compared to some of the other Star Wars vehicles. It is pretty cool to see how some of these ships compare, but if you did want to get specific, the T-70 is about 38 centimeters long, 35 centimeters wide, 21 centimeters high when on the stand, and here it is next to Jarek's original T-65. The two biggest visual differences for the T-70 come in the form of forward to back split wings that line up flush, and 4 half-cylinder intakes instead of completely round shapes when seen on the original T-65. A fun note here is that this design element stems directly back to some of the original concept art from Ralph McQuarrie. So in a strange way, the T-70 is closer in design to the thing that ended up inspiring what the T-65 looks like. But now let's get into some of the accuracy and proportions. We love accuracy here in the studio, almost as much as Jarek the designer, and if you were to get the impression that the T-70 LEGO model is a simple reskin of the T-65, let me burst that bubble for you right now. They are completely different designs. I'm not going to make this a side-by-side comparison video because I think the T-70 can be appreciated plenty on its own for the model that it is, but even for the areas that look like they could be the same, they're not. The cockpit is longer and set a little deeper into the body. This means all the connections on the nose and the area around it are totally different, and the angled tip in the front is a modified shape and connected with an entirely new and stronger approach. Let's get into the functions. I am happy to report the S-foil folding is incredibly robust. There is a gear at the bottom that activates a totally unique and original gearbox on the inside that locks the wings into place with a surprising amount of strength. The function is smooth and responsive. The wings lock open incredibly wide, and when closed, they don't wobble side to side, plus the front and back half of the wings line up flush. It's a satisfying feature because you can really twist the gear tight without the dread of something popping out of place or even a tooth skipping. For more functions, the landing gear folds out of the bottom in 3 different spots. I must admit, if you slide the model around just on the landing gear, the legs, the back legs usually, will fold in on themselves. In a lot of ways, this model really does feel like a casual, swooshable build, but this isn't something you can just roughly plop on a surface if you want the feet to stay balanced. The folding is ultimately simple and easy to manipulate, but it's just something to keep in mind. Also, something pretty simple and easy is attaching the display stand. Jarek set it up in a way where the model only has 2 studs of connection. It might not sound like much, but these are high friction connection points because they go straight into lift arm holes. Plus, there is a lot of flush surface area on the display that holds the weight of the X-Wing up too. What you're left with is a display that has a pretty even balance and slight upward cant for the starfighter. Also, something I really like here is that when you pull the X-Wing away from the stand, it doesn't take other pieces along with it. But let me now take a quick look at the back of the build before I forget. There is some pretty interesting shaping and connections here. The greebles are very solid, and the thrusters have a lot of internal reinforcement, so they won't pop off too easily, which I like. Here's a closer look at the attachment for Poe's afterburner. Simple enough to connect, though it is a little bit finicky getting some of those welding pieces to fit underneath the panels. Also, here's just a closer shot of a pilot going in and out of the cockpit. It's a pretty darn easy affair. At the same time, a BB-8 or a BB unit astromech droid can fit in the back, and I really like the detailing for those front intakes with the upside down tile piece. Anyways, these models have been a blast to put together. Jarek has been refining his ability to convey advanced building techniques in a more easy and approachable way. And what can I say? These are just some very slick models. I've always loved the look of an X-Wing, and the T-70 here has been captured incredibly well in Lego bricks. Again, you can pick up the instructions for this model at www.brickvault.toys if you want to build one of these for yourself. Let me know what types of other models you'd like to see built in the studio next. If you enjoy our content, feel free to like, subscribe, comment, share. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this video, and we'll see you next time at Brick Vault.